This may be why your home isn't selling. If I had $1 for every time I sat down at the listing presentation table where the sellers were adamant they needed X so that they could buy their new home, I'd be a very, very wealthy man. The truth is, so many people have the expectation that they can get a certain amount for their home because that's what they are expecting or what they're entitled to. Well, guys, I got news for you. That is incorrect thinking. There is something called market value. And just because you want to buy house for X and sell your house for Y to make that move doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. Dealing with this all the time right now in the current market, and especially this is even more challenging when we're dealing with these high interest rates. Interest rates are affecting everybody. And what you need to understand is that the key word here is expectations. Everyone needs to prepare their expectations, sellers and buyers. And sellers, if you're pricing your house here so you can buy your house here, guess what? It may not happen. If you truly, truly want to make a move in this market, it's best to sit down, get an idea of what your house is worth first, then determine what you can buy. Going out and picking a house and saying, okay, I want to buy this house for this much. Great. Okay, now I need this much for my house. Incorrect thinking. And it's very, very challenging. And to be honest with you, what happens is it becomes very emotional for sellers. Sellers and buyers can get very emotional. And don't get me wrong, sellers, I understand your house is your home. You've lived there. You have wonderful memories there. It may be an emotional attachment, but here's the thing. You need to separate yourself from that. I hate to tell you, your house is now an asset. It has equity. Really, you need to look at it more as a business transaction. Separate your emotions from the sale and understand that it's dollars and cents. And if you get the right number for your property and you're happy, let it go and move on. But the other thing is you need to get your ducks in a row because you may be emotional again about this new property you're purchasing and you may want it. But if you want it and you're paying a little too much for that property, and you need to get so much for your current home, it's very challenging in this market. I always say this, there's certain markets where I have my magic wand and I can wave it and I can make magic happen. There's other markets where the magic wand is broken. And I hate to tell you, since 2022 of April, the magic wand for real estate agents has been broken. We can't wave the wand and make you magic and rich off the crazy heightened episodes that we experienced in 2022. But what we can do is guide you and teach you about market value and teach you about what's going on in the market. Now, with these rates, you may be hearing a little bit of doom and gloom out there, but I'm going to tell you, compared to last year in 2022 when this rate business started, there is actually a great real estate market going on. Everyone is getting acclimatized to these new interest rates. The market seems to be balancing, and there actually appears to be a market value that buyers are willing to pay for a house. But unfortunately, some of the sellers currently listed on the market aren't willing to accept that reality. So they're cluttering the internet with houses that are overpriced. And I tell you, a lot of these overpriced houses, if they were priced more appropriately, would sell very quickly. Our supply levels are very low and buyers are realizing this. So if a house is priced appropriately, there's actually multiple offers happening on some of these homes. So the most important thing is to understand what your house is worth, what you can afford when buying your next home. Just going out and buying a house at a certain price and then saying, I need this much, is not the appropriate way to do things. I often tell people, you know what? Yes, I am a real estate agent, but not only that, I'm also a house therapist. I can always appreciate that there's numerous emotions that come into when selling or buying. You find that perfect home that has the pool, you picture your family living there, growing up there. you know what? I love that. Those emotions transfer to myself as well, and I want to make that dream become a reality. There's also emotions when selling your home, and sometimes those emotions kind of breed a little bit of entitlement, making you feel like you deserve more for your home. Well, that's again where house therapist Sean comes in the picture and separates those emotions from reality. And the reality is this: there is market value, and your house is worth what it's worth, and buyers will pay you what your house is worth. So sellers, what you need to do is set expectations when selling your home. Separate yourself from those emotions. Remember that you had those wonderful memories. You may have pictures of your house, your kids growing up in the house. You'll always have those pictures as memories. Your kids will always have the memories of that home. Keep those memories, but separate yourself from those memories when you're selling your home. As mentioned before, treat it as a business transaction. It can be challenging, it can be tough, but that's really what it is. Unfortunately, I hate to tell you, buyers don't care about your emotions. They mostly care about value and getting a fair price on your home. All right? And buyers have more information at their fingertips than they've ever had before through the internet, these apps that let them know what houses sell for. So it's more important now than ever that you have your house priced appropriate to the market. So if you're a seller in the position right now, and it's a tough spot where you have your eye on a property and it's for this much, therefore you need to sell your house for this much, and that price is too high for the market, I hate to tell you, this is the true reality for you sellers as well as buyers. The reality is this: you need to reset your expectations. And you can do this a couple ways. Number one, come to the reality that the budget you want to buy for may not be the budget you can actually buy for, and you may need to look down a level in price point. Or number two, acknowledge that maybe this isn't the right time to sell your home. You're probably looking at me and saying, well, look at this. This is a realtor saying, well, don't sell your home. I do it all the time because we're here to help. And just because you may want to do something, it's important for you to be educated that, hey, now might not be the right time. Maybe spring of next year, if the market picks up a little bit, your house value may pick up a little bit and you may be able to jump in that next home. And again, this is where it's very important you lean on an expert, a real estate agent who has market knowledge and expertise and who's trustworthy. Because if he's trustworthy, you're going to understand and believe what they're telling you. For myself, when I do a market analysis of a property, I get accused all the time of kind of information overload. But for me, the information overload is better because I want to make people understand. When I come with comparables, I don't come with just 3 comparables. I usually come with 10 actively listed properties as well as anywhere from 10 to 15 sold properties. Because from those 25 properties, you can really understand market value. And the challenge is too, for sellers, I'm bringing some properties that are currently listed, but I'm also bringing properties that have sold. And usually when I'm bringing the properties that are currently listed, their days on the market are 30, 60, 90 days. Price too high. Whereas then the ones I'm bringing that are sold have been on the market for 1-2 weeks and they sell. Why? Because they're priced correctly. And again, sellers, you can think to yourself, well, if I wait it out 30, 60, 90 days, someone will come and bring me an offer. Again, incorrect thinking, because what's happening is we actually have supply. We actually have more houses hitting the market every day. And the key thing is buyers are patient to wait to pay the right price on a home and not have to overpay. So trying to stretch the market's fine, but if an adjustment's made, don't think it's a bad thing. I've had numerous properties where I try for clients. We do the 2-week rule, try to see if we can get them best value. If we don't, we adjust it at the appropriate price. And then guess what? They're sold within a week. So guys, get educated. Talk to the bank first. Figure out what you can afford. But not to mention, talk to a realtor. Get the value of your property. Get a good understanding of what your house is worth. then go to the bank. The bank can help you judge off what the value of your property is and what you may be able to afford on that new home. And guys, don't stretch the budget. There's opportunities out there where you can get a deal if you're patient, and you may not have to go to that high threshold, therefore allowing you to price your house appropriately to the market. Because setting expectations for this current market, and actually any market in general, is the most important thing. And that's one thing I've done throughout my 20 years, is I hate giving dreams of grandeur. I never like to sit there and pump someone's tires up just to get a listing, give them an exponentially high price, and then over the next 90 days of the listing, beat them down on price. That is not appropriate. I like to put the cards on the table and give them a true market value. It may not be what you want to hear, but it is the reality. And we're always willing to work with you and maybe try to see what we can do, but reality is reality. So guys, separate your emotions, plan your expectations, and understand the market by talking to the bank and a realtor, and get out there, buy and sell.